So this new setup for my V-Star 1300 Deluxe audio setup, and also just kind of in general under the hood. I do have a lot going on here. Let me just go ahead and explain a couple things here real quick. So it's a garage door opener that I've got wired to a push button that lets me open my garage door. I didn't feel like spending all the money for a custom one, so a couple dollars for the push button. I had the garage door opener already, so it didn't cost me very much. This, which you can't really see too well, is a digital guard dog remote start. Keyless start, I should say, so I don't have to use the key to start it anymore, which I've also got a video on how to install that. But the main part of this is the audio system. So it starts with two of these Kenwood Max Power 400 watt Bluetooth amps. They're both Marine Bluetooth amps. They're identical. I ended up with both of them through some happenstance, so I thought I'd put them both to good use. This one here is the primary, and what that means is it is the one that the Bluetooth connects to. That's what this is. That's the Bluetooth connection on the handlebar, which I'll show you in a moment. This is the audio out to the secondary amp. It's a combined A and B, so red and white. And then I used a 2-in-1 splitter. So over here, I've got A red, A white, and then underneath is B red, B white. And that feeds both left and right audio to the secondary amp. The primary amp is bridged, so it has a feature on here that allows you to set it to stereo or to bridge. Bridge basically just means it combines the left and right, the left front and the rear left together, and then the front right and the rear right together into two channels. But it basically doubles the amount of power that it's pushed into each speaker. So the front one is bridged, and it's going to a pair of Polk 5.25 dB plus Marine speakers, which are rated, I forget what the max rating is. I think it's like 125 watts. But they're 4 ohms. They're rated for this. The rear one, this one is also bridged, and it is going to some 5.25 speakers in this trunk that I recently acquired. These are just generic speakers that came with it from Amazon. They're 4 ohms. They're rated at 120 watts, so they should be able to handle it. But it is Amazon, so I'm not putting a tremendous amount of stock into it. So we'll see. They may get upgraded to the Polk audio ones here shortly. In there is the Polk audio. I've had these for several years now. I've ridden through rain, all kinds of weather. They've been super solid the entire time. I've had zero issues with them. This is the Bluetooth controller for the amp, for the primary amp, and that lets me control the volume, change the songs, things like that. This, which I will get into more here in a moment, is what I replaced the stock GPS with. It is a Android Auto or Apple CarPlay head unit. I also picked this up on Amazon for a couple $100. It is weather rated, specific for motorcycles. It was a fairly simple install. It was only 2 wires, and I'll show you how that is set up here in a minute. So to install this, I had to remove the stock GPS, which was fairly simple. I just pulled it out, and then the plate is a standard amps pattern, so any ram ball mount will fit in there, which is what I'm using in there. The wires that feed through that little hole right there in the back, this grommet comes out, and so you can pull the whole wiring unit out for the GPS without having to cut anything. I did leave the GPS unit in, and the reason why is because it's physically attached to this metal plate, and this metal plate is reinforcing the speaker pods here on the front, so I didn't want to take that out, so I just kind of tucked the wires down in here. The wires that I'm not using, I just put some terminals on the ends of them, capped them, and I tucked them down, and really the terminals are just there to keep the wires from getting corroded. So I ran the wires down along the side. Let's see if I can get a good shot here. So I just added some of this wire tubing here, ran all the wires through here. So the yellow power wire and then the speaker wires are all running through here under the tank, and I have it coming out right here underneath. Here is my power wire for the 2 amps, both these yellow ones, and then the speaker wires I've just kind of secured them together in several places, and then where they're spliced to the speaker wires coming out of the trunk, I just kind of got tucked down here. It actually works really well. This is the wiring coming out of the trunk. That tape is just there to keep it from rubbing. Let's see here. This is where it comes out of the trunk. I got some more of that tubing, and it just goes under the back seat and then down here, and then all the wire connections are in here. So that's the physical setup. There's nothing complicated about it. You just need some basic tools. Wire cutters, Allen wrenches, some butt splices, a good crimping tool. Mounting the trunk is the most difficult part. I have this trunk mounted to a wampus rack, which is just a little bit wider than the recess for the trunk, so I had to use some 1/2-inch spacers. Getting everything to line up was a little difficult, so that was the hardest part. But wiring the speakers in and setting everything up physically was not that difficult. So let's go ahead and turn this on and see what it sounds like. Okay, so as you can see, this head unit is on and it's showing my Google Maps and my phone playlist. It is connected to the phone via a Bluetooth antenna, and then it connects to the Bluetooth amp via a Bluetooth antenna. So that's how the music gets from my phone to the stereo. This works with gloves, so if you're wearing gloves, you can still cycle through stuff. We're just gonna pick something at random here.
Cause every girl crazy about a sharp dress now.
And with that, I can just change. You can see that it's switching through the various songs. I can turn down the volume. And then while that's playing, I can still have up my Google Maps and stuff. So I don't know if the video really does it justice, but having 4 of these 5 1/4 pushing 400 watts is quite loud. I can hear it under my helmet on the highway, so the sound is pretty good. That's my setup, so let me know if you have any questions.